You know I told you that the march in Washington and Dr. King's speech was a seminal day for me? Yup. At the time, I was walking out with, that is, seeing, a young man who I'd met at a protest. He'd never had a college education, but he was passionate about the cause and made the most incredible, uplifting speeches. Even though he was uneducated, he was so bright and charismatic and, well, I fell for him. And that evening in Washington, after the speeches had ended and everyone was on a high, you just cannot imagine the feeling. Well, I and he, we made love under a tree in a park. Is that it? Really, Stella? I'm not shocked at all, I promise. You are human after all, and we've all done stuff like that, I reassured her. Thank you for that, Electra. Stella looked relieved. It's just awful embarrassing as a 68-year-old woman to have to tell your granddaughter something like that. I'm cool with it, so don't worry. So what happened then? I asked, although I'd already guessed the answer. I found myself pregnant a few weeks later, Stella said. It was a big shock. I mean, I was expected to graduate top of my class at Vassar, and my place at Columbia Law School was confirmed. I remember coming back here to the apartment knowing I had to tell Cecily what had happened. I don't think I've ever been more scared in my life than I was at that moment. Because you thought she'd disown you? No, not that. It was much more to do with the fact that everything she had worked for and sacrificed to give me had just gone up in smoke. I could hardly bear that I'd let her down. And how did she react? You know what? She was remarkably calm about it, which somehow made it worse. I guess I felt I deserved to be ranted and raved at. First, she asked me if I loved the father, and as I'd already thought about it a lot since the event, I said that I didn't think I did, that I'd just gotten carried away with all the emotion of the night. Then she asked me if I wanted the baby, and I told her truthfully that no, I did not. Is that a terrible thing to admit, Electra? Jeez, no. I shook my head. I mean, I'm older than you were then, and I'd feel the same. So, did you have an abortion? Abortions were illegal in the 60s, even though Cecily said she had made some discreet inquiries and had been told of a good surgeon who did them in secret. So, yes, you could say I was offered that choice, but I couldn't take it. Why not? Because through Cecily, Rosalind, Terence, and their kids, I'd been brought up a Christian. I believed in God then, and I still believe in God now. To take another human life when that life had no say in the matter, and simply throw it away just because the timing didn't suit me was unthinkable. I offered to marry the father, but Kuaya, Cecily, said that I shouldn't if I didn't love him, that we would work it out between us. She suggested I defer law school for a year, and that she was prepared to take care of the baby for me so I could continue my education. She sounds like an incredible human being, I said, meaning it. She was my Kuaya. She loved me and I worshipped her. Stella shrugged. So that's what happened. I deferred law school, and 7 months later, I gave birth to your mother. So what year was this? 1964, the year the Civil Rights Act was finally passed. I finally am going to hear about my mother, I thought. What was her name? I called her Rosa, after Rosa Parks, the woman who began it all. And Rosalind, of course. It's a lovely name, I said. She was a real cute baby. Oh boy, was she cute. Stella smiled, her eyes filling with tears. Forgive me, Electra. This is your moment to grieve, not mine. I don't know what's come over me. I'm usually not the crying kind. Neither am I, but recently my waterworks have been spouting all over the place. I guess it's good to let it out. Yes, it is. And thank you for being so grown up about what I've told you so far. Hey, I get the feeling that the worst bit is yet to come. You're right. It is, I'm afraid. So? I asked as I poured myself some more tea just for something to do. The suspense was killing me. Well, I completed law school while Cecily cared for Rosa, then got myself a job in New York working for a housing association and lobbying the mayor's office and anyone I could find for better conditions for the tenants. I'd deal with small disputes, defend women with 4 kids who were living in one room with no sanitary facilities. But what I really wanted to be doing was the big stuff. Then I was